Two-time champ of this event, Sally Fitzgibbons.
Something changed and I feel way more confident than I did all year long.
Yep, I'm nodding my head. That was a great wave from Sally.
Welcome back to the outer known Fiji Women's Pro. We are in a semifinal number 2, Tatiana Westenwerp versus Sally Fitzgibbons. And while we were away, we had some action happen in this semifinal number 2. And let's get caught up with some of those actions. But first, we're going to take a look at the statistics between these two ladies, tied in their head-to-head matchups, 2 apiece as far as victories. This was while we were away, Potts.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, a very slow semi-final number 1, but semi-final number 2 off to a flying start, and Sally Fitzgibbons tagging that one all the way through the inside, and a massive score drop for her. Right behind her, Tatiana Westenwerp, wasting no time to keep in touch with Sally, a 2-times champ out here. Tatiana Westenwerp starting to find her feet, a little bit of a nervous start so far this year, but this is an event that can kickstart her year. A great finish on that wave there, number 1 for her. So good, 2 good solid scores from both surfers to kick things off. And then Sally straight back out in the lineup and backing up that first score. She already has her 2-wave total with 30 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. A little bit of a different start to this one, Kaipo.
No restart needed in semifinal number 2. There's the math up in the graphic. 7-6-7. Big score for Sally Fitzgibbon on the opener. She backed it up with a 3-6-7. Tatiana Westenwerp keeps herself right in the conversation with a 6.27, needing a 5.08 to take the lead off of Sally Fitzgibbons. But the story is with Sally, as we see her in the blue jersey, she's twice a winner out here at Cloudbreak, and now she has the opportunity to wear that yellow Jeep Leaders jersey. And by the way of, if she makes the finals here, Potts, she will get that Jeep Leaders jersey. So if she gets second, she'll be sharing that with Tyler Wright. If she wins this event, she will be the lone owner of that yellow Jeep Leaders jersey. So a lot on the line for Sally Fitzgibbons, but she's got off to a great start.
Absolutely. A fantastic start, that's for sure.
Tatiana Westenwerp. You see her stats there on the bottom of your screen. She's 21 years old, coming from the Garden Isle of Kauai.
Looks like a little bit more action in the lineup in this semi-final number 2. A very, very slow semi-final number 1. Tatiana Westenwerp having a look at this. Sally Fitzgibbons with priority. Here she goes.
Uses the priority. Snaps off the top. Whitewater climb. Comes around that section, a second snap, throwing a ton of water there. Carving around. Fitzgibbons looking in excellent form on this little left here at Cloudbreak, doing everything right. And she's going to chuck that 3-6-7 that she has as a backup score right out the window and make things a little bit harder for Tatiana Westenwerp.
Absolutely, Kaipo. Absolutely. With 28 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, Sally utilizing that priority. And that's what you have to do. You got to have that priority at the right time when those waves come through. May call it a little bit of luck, but it's all timing. It's all really positioning. And Sally using that priority, a smaller wave, but just trying to better a 3.67. Beautiful foam climb. Look at the rhythm she's got on this wave. Just rattling off maneuver after maneuver. And it's not going to be a huge score, but he's going to improve her situation. It's going to apply the pressure a little bit more squarely on the shoulders of Tatiana Weston-Webb. So Sally kicks out of wave number 3 already and has made it quite clear she's going to stay busy. She's going to keep riding waves. And here she goes again.
Staying busy is Sally Fitzgibbons. Speed line arc there. Comes around the section and goes vert, but down. Said it before, no harm, no foul. She'll still be in the lead. We're still waiting on 2 wave scores for Sally Fitzgibbons. Previous waves just checked in at a 5.67 for Fitzgibbon. And Tatiana Weston-Webb may be feeling the pressure as her requirement now is a 7.08 if she wants to make it to the final.
Sally's so comfortable out here, isn't she? I mean, whether it's 2 foot as it is today, or whether it's 12 foot, which she's surfed it before, big or small, she knows where to sit. She's got a very high IQ when it comes to knowing this spot called Cloud Break. Experience goes a very long way out here, although she does have a very tenacious competitor in Tatiana Weston-Webb who is feeling it. She told in her post-heat interview that she's got that confidence back that she was lacking at the beginning of the year. Her year is pretty much kick-started now. Minimum semi-finals, minimum of a 3rd place, which is going to help her rankings. But she's got Sally Fitzgibbons to take care of. 7.67, 5.67 from Sally. Tatiana needs a good score of a 7.08.
Weston-Webb sitting in the lineup with priority. I'm sure she's clearing her mind and focusing at the task at hand. Calm in her demeanor right now. Plenty of time on the clock, 26 minutes. And she will have first choice of any wave that comes through here at Cloudbreak. Right now, let's catch up with Strider Wozlewski. He's with our first finalist, Courtney Conlog.
All right, guys, over here with Courtney Conlog. Courtney, all-out grovel fest out there. You know what, though? You were both in the same sandbox, having the same waves, and you came out on top.
Yeah, gosh, that was, whew. I don't even know what to say, honestly, Strider, but seriously, just happy I got through that thing, and I don't know how I manufactured that win, but, you know, it was just backing myself and Luke, and I kept just spotting him. I'm like, really? We're going to stay hanging here? Okay. And went along for the ride and paid off with that 6, and then right when that happened, I'm like, all right, let's try to find, we were like fighting for 3s, and that very rarely happens, let alone at Cloudbreak.
Well, a win's a win, you know, and having somebody like Luke in your corner, he identified early in the heat to me that higher scores were coming from that inside corner, and it's just what happened.
Yeah, the whole event, everything that's been caught over there, where I ended up catching the 6 was the best wave of the heat, and it did shut off for quite a while, then the tide's dropping out, but that current hadn't started pulling back, so it was like, you're rolling the dice a little bit, but, you know, in order to get through, you kind of have to sometimes, especially in these conditions. And, yeah, really happy just to be in the final. Wow. Sick.
Well, we'll let you get ready. We're going to let you get ready for the final, because it's not over till it's over, and we can't wait to see the rest of the event. Back to that little grovel session, and you know what? Maybe there'll be a couple more sets in the next heat.
All right. Hopefully so. I'd love just to have some fun exchanges and actually, you know, rip into a few. Woo!
Right. Well, we can't wait to see it. Go over there, get comfortable. We'll let you get ready.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Strider Wozlewski. During that interview, we saw Sally Fitzgibbons get another wave, just kind of being the magnet out there, and went rapid fire on that wave, looking to better her low of a 5.67. We're waiting for that scores to drop, but gosh, she looked on point. Let's take a look at the replay pots.
Yeah, she is definitely on point. I mean, just the maneuver choice, the flow that she's got going, a beautiful board under her feet, and just standing on the tail of that board, just rapid fire from Sally Fitzgibbons. Still waiting for that score to drop. Looking to better a 5.67 and apply a little bit more pressure. Tatiana Weston-Webb playing the patient game, Kaipo, with just a 6.27. So a good backup score right there for Tatiana. She needs to rival that 7.67 of Sally's, though. She needs something up in that range.
And she's not going to move until she sees something that she thinks she can score higher than that requirement. And it's going to have to be much higher for that requirement. We're still waiting for a score for Sally Fitzgibbons. Tatiana Weston-Webb on the paddle. "22 minutes and 30 seconds on the countdown." A nice pulled away view, and finally some scores start to drop for last of Sally Fitzgibbons, looking to better her low of 5.67. Early indicator is a split on that. We got one more number to drop so we can finalize the math, and she does ever so slightly with a 5.73, but that's enough to apply more pressure to Tatiana Weston-Webb, now requiring a 7.14.
That's all you got to do, Kaipo, and that's going to just give Sally that much more confidence moving forward as well. Just knowing that she's increasing her scoreline every time she pulls a trigger, she's making the right decision, and I think that builds confidence in itself. More waves coming through right now. Tatiana Weston-Webb with priority, but is she out of position for this one? Sally going again.
Sally, wave magnet, but that one just doesn't formulate for her. Tatiana Weston-Webb higher up on the reef, looking at this one. Here we go, Tati, building up some speed down the line. Floats it, sticks it. One maneuver, but high risk over some very shallow reef there. She kind of had to hop down from that floater. So we'll take a look at where the judges go with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a unique maneuver. It has its merit. It's more of a transition turn, though. If Tatiana had have got that nice big foam climb floater and then tail tap drop into another turn, then we're starting to talk about a serious score.
Here it is.
Let's have a look. She races down the line, up onto the roof of the wave, and then jumps down. So definitely a critical wave. 3.67 for Tatiana. Not enough to get her in the lead. And this was the 5.73 from Sally. You can just see rapid fire, smooth, clean surfing, commitment, and, well, just nice, mistake-free. I love the flow that she had, the transition between turns. Very hard to do in small waves like that.
Sally Fitzgibbons obviously loves Cloudbreak, and Cloudbreak loves her back. Just handing her some waves right now. Tati's going to continue to surf through here, still looking for that 7.14. That's not going to do it. An up and out for Weston-Webb. Priority sits with Sally Fitzgibbons, who's going to sit out there patiently and probably not going to move until she sees a wave that's going to better her low score.
Yeah, well, that's her plan. I mean, that's the plan of attack she's got going at the moment. Just better your situation. Don't pull the trigger unless you know you're going to better that 5.73. If she does that, then everything goes according to plan. If she doesn't, she's going to open the door a little bit for Tatiana, give her that priority, and then all of a sudden one of those good waves come through and Tatiana could make her pay. So strategy is going to be very important here. Decision making very clear. Zero mistakes.
Well, we know that Sally Fitzgibbons is confident out here. She showed us that in 2015. We'll get back to that conversation as Tatiana Weston-Webb starts snapping for the first time. Comes around the section and draws a big arc all the way back. Snaps again through this inside. Looks for more. Gets another arcing rail turn. So kicks out. Wow.
We both wowed that at the end there. It's good surfing from Tatiana Weston-Webb. Was the wave... I know from experience watching the judges like those little bigger open face waves. I mean, she surfed that thing to death. Absolutely blitzing all the way through. Is it a 7.14 though? Is that close to being one of the best waves of the heat?
That's what's going to have to happen on that wave as Tati gets a jet ski ride back out to the takeoff zone. And we're going to take another look at this one.
Well, underneath the priority of Sally Fitzgibbons, Sally didn't even look at that wave. So Sally understanding maybe, hey, this is not it. It's not what I need. Watch this turn from Tatiana. Bang! Beautiful rotation on that. Letting the fins free through the lip again. So some solid surfing from Tatiana. The judges are going to have to score. They're going to have to give points for those maneuvers. Even though it was a marginal wave, she could not have done any more on that wave, Kaipo.
She certainly maximized that little left there, just stringing together some really beautiful turns, Tatiana Weston-Webb, and we're still waiting for that score as she gets dropped off by a fellow Kauaian in Kai Garcia.
A little bit more pizzazz, I think, than Sally's wave. A little bit more aggression. Sally had, I think, better flow. Nice, clean, smooth lines, whereas Tatiana was a little bit more aggressive in the pocket, a little bit more tighter in the snaps. So, trying to think back to Sally's 7.67, because that's the kind of wave that you're looking at rivaling. Sally's 7.67 was a bigger set wave. There's not many of those coming through, but scores starting to come through now.
Judges locking in the numbers, and it comes in at a 6.77. Requirement now for Weston-Webb. A 6.64, so she did reduce the requirement to take the lead and a ticket into the final. However, Sally Fitzgibbons still grasping onto the lead. There's the long math as we got that 6.77.
So, one judge gave it to her. One judge gave her a 7.2. Another judge gave her a 7, a couple of 6.5s and a 6.8. So that's the kind of ballpark that she's looking for again. She needs something along those lines again to take the lead. 6.64. Sally, she knows now she's got to better that 5.73. If she does that, she's then going to push that requirement back out up into that 7+ range. So there's a battle right now. This is the 7.67. You can see a bigger set wave, bigger turns, bigger arcs. A little bit of a stumble right there, but then fixed it and finished nice and strong. So Tatiana surfed her wave absolutely amazingly. A smaller wave, so tighter arcs. Nice quick snap there. She jams around the section. This is the money shot. Bang! Just beautiful slashing turn. Throws the fins out through the lip again. So back-to-back solid maneuvers. She's looking good on her feet, let me tell you. And another wave like that could find herself in the lead.
Got to be encouraging for Tatiana to know that she could garner a score of 6.77 on such a small wave. She catches a wave a foot or two bigger, unleashes a couple more of those turns that she already displayed. She's on her way beyond that need of a 6.64, probably up into the excellent range.
So I reckon 15 minutes to go, so plenty of time remaining, just under halfway. Sally's now got to better that 5.73. That's in the back of her mind. She's not going to pull the trigger unless she is 100% sure that she's going to better that situation. Tatiana, the confidence she's carrying right now, knowing that she can catch a wave underneath the priority of Sally. Sally didn't even look at that wave that Tatiana took off on, and Tatiana dropped that 6.77. So another roll of the dice like that for Tatiana, and she is in the lead.
Love the explanation, Potts, and we are going to take a break. We'll be back with the conclusion of semifinal number 2 here at the Outer Known Fiji Women's Pro.
What do you ride? Are you in the purple?
13 minutes remaining.
Welcome back to the out-and-known Fiji Women's Pro. Spirits are high here. Who we going for?
Neither surfer is pulled away.
Both the ladies are staying on Tamarua, so we're going for both of them, right?
6-7.
Yeah.
Sally, you're looking to better your low score.
All right, thanks, BL. And the Spirits are getting lifted on our officials' boat here at Tamarua Island Resort, represented on the deck there. Out in the lineup, we have Australia and Hawaii represented in the way of Sally Fitzgibbons and Tatiana Weston Webb. Fitzgibbons in the blue jersey does have the lead and priority over Tatiana Weston Webb, who is searching for a 6.64 to make her way into the final. But right now, Sally Fitzgibbons with control of the heat.
Yes, she does, but nervous moments. The weak link in Sally's scores is at 5.73. And Tatiana has taken a lot of confidence knowing that she can catch a wave underneath the priority and quite possibly get the score. Quick check of the watch from Tatiana. Sally keeping a very close eye on the movements of her opponent. A little bit of a wave approaching right now. Here we go, starting to make a move. Tatiana starting to create a little bit of distance here. Sally's got to keep a close eye on this. Tatiana moving. Is she going to have a look at it? Deciding not to go, and both Sally and Tatiana letting that one slide underneath.
Situation is not going to change. The only thing that's going to happen is the clock continues to tick down. There's a second wave in the set. Looks like our view from high up above. And Tatiana Weston Webb on the paddle just takes a look at it, decides not to go. Wave slides under both competitors. And perhaps some repositioning from Weston Webb, who's under the priority of Sally Fitzgibbons. This is the tough part, Potts. This is the mental game. This is when it's some sports psychology is going to come into play. Fitzgibbons doesn't look at that one. Tati's happy to surf underneath Sally's priority. Can she scratch into it? Unable to do so. She garnered a 6.77 on a wave smaller than that. So that may have been an opportunity. The wave shape did not look very good. We talked about before, Potts, that one of the challenges to Cloudbreak is the variety. Not every wave's the same.
No, absolutely, Kuiper. I mean, it is a perfect reef setup. I suppose it all depends on what swell's running. Sometimes you have a little bit of leftover swell with the new one approaching, so it'll mix it up. There's a little bit lucky dip out there. You've got to keep your eye on the prize. You've got to keep moving around the lineup. You've got to keep readjusting your position. And on top of that, keep that nice and quiet between the ears.
Tati scratching up. And that one just zippers off into some very shallow water. 9:40 on the countdown. Fitzgibbons going to maintain the lead and maintain priority. She's been making no signals, no inclinations to paddling for any of those smaller waves. The chess game continues, Potts.
She's got such a strong mental game, Sally. You know, and I think that's due just to the hard work that she does, Kuiper. I mean, she's up there with the fittest on tour, and with that comes a lot of mental stability. You know, you're not doubting yourself. You're not second guessing yourself. You're making clear, precise decisions. And you can tell by the scores that Sally's been dropping throughout this entire event. You can tell by how calm she is, just sitting there, focusing on the ocean, visualizing what is about to happen, visualizing when that wave comes through, what she's going to do. Absolutely tear it to pieces and better her situation. Constantly telling herself, reassuring herself that she's got this.
Confident surfer, as she should be. The 2015 victory that Sally took out here at Cloudbreak was one. It was just a great sports story in general, beyond surfing. Perforated her eardrum. Doctor's recommendations to not surf, not to continue to surf. Sally waved off the doctor, taped up her ear, went out there and took the big win. That, when we talk about mental fortitude, that's mental fortitude, because if anyone knows, when you injure your eardrum, you're also injuring your sense of balance, your equilibrium.
Exactly.
Fighter, Sally Fitzgibbons.
Warrior. Absolute warrior. And there you have 2014 first, 2015 first, and a 5th place last year, losing to a very informed Bianca Buitendach in some solid cloud break waves. That was a tough heat as well. There was no walk in the park for Bianca. Here Sally finds herself in the semi-finals yet again. A slender lead over Tatiana Weston-Webb. Small waves approaching. Is Tatiana going to have a look at this one?
She's going to continue to surf it through. That one actually has quite a cross section, and you can see some of the refraction from the reef just splitting that wave in two and making it not a go for Tatiana Weston-Webb. More views from high in the sky. The positioning of our two competitors in semifinal number 2. Our first finalist, Courtney Conlog, comfortable on our officials boat right now, preparing for whoever may meet her in the final. Courtney looking extra tough. Here's a wave coming through here. Tatiana goes. Snaps off the top. Comes around this section again. Snaps it one more time. More room. Third snap goes complete. Number needing 6.64. Pretty good performance there. It was, however, a small wave. We'll see where the judges go with that, Potts.
Well, I'm thinking it's very similar to that last 6.67. Maybe a little bit more dynamic. Maybe rapid fire. Maybe a few better turns on that one. Definitely some solid surfing from Tatiana Weston-Webb. 6.64 required, 6 minutes remaining. I think we're going to see a lead change here, Kaipo. If not, it's only going to just be under the number. Because in my eyes, it was maybe as good as that 6.67, which will be enough.
Well, our judges, I'm sure, are going to replay that ride a couple of times, or we're going to replay it for you.
Yeah, watch this first turn. Beautiful maneuver. Beautiful snap in the pocket. Showing some pizzazz. Through the lip again, and then finishes strong with a nice snap into the lip. So back-to-back maneuvers with that nice flow, a little bit of pizzazz, and then finishing strong. So another thing too, though, that subconsciously, I reckon, you may get a little bit extra point. Why? Because it's underneath the priority of your opponent. You know, I think that whole thing of letting a wave go and then your opponent just dropping a bomb on it, it could be dangerous.
Judges are slowly starting to filter in the numbers. Things are looking bright, actually. One more to go before we can do the average. We throw out the high and the low. 5 judges, 1 to drop a score, and it's a 6.77. Martin Potter, you were correct. Twin scores for Tatiana Weston-Webb, 6.77, 6.77, and the lead over Sally Fitzgibbons as we hit the 5-minute mark.
Wow. Well, there's the breakdown of the scores. 2 6.8s, a 6.7, a 6.5, and a 7.20. The high and the low. Now we see some set waves starting to approach the lineup. Sally needing a 5.87. Well and truly within reach for Fitzgibbons. 4.5 remaining. Are we going to see a bit of a seesaw battle in this last 4.5 minutes?
I love a seesaw battle. I love the drama that has been invoked in this semi-final number 2. I love the warrior eyes of Tatiana Weston-Webb, never giving up, taking those smaller waves, but just surfing them to their full potential and just showing some real aggression and risk in those forehand snaps.
Absolutely. The aggression, I think, is what got her the scores. You know, I think had she tapped off a little bit on those waves, there was no way she was going to get scores up into that range. That was a 5-point wave, and she turned it into a 6.77 just by the attack mode that she brought to it. The rail surfing, the beautiful tight snaps in the pocket, the speed that she carried through that entire wave, a very difficult thing to do.
You can see Tatiana paddling to the left of your screen and maybe even subconsciously pushing Sally Fitzgibbon further up the reef, and that may make it harder for Fitzgibbons to clear that opening section here at Cloudbreak. We'll see how this plays out right now, but looks like Fitzgibbons buying into it because she's definitely paddling further up the reef right now, Potts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, subconsciously you don't want to let your opponent on your inside. You know, just an average free surf day when you're out there practicing you know, you want to maintain that inside position. Why? Because that gives you the right of way. So subconsciously, you kind of do that even in your heats, even though you've got priority, even though you can pick and choose wherever you want to sit and control that lineup. Sometimes subconsciously, you feel like you need to maintain that inside position.
The gamesmanship of a surfing competition getting played out here as we're under 3 minutes, 2 minutes 40 on the countdown. Let's take a look at our heat recap.
Yeah, beautiful start to Sally Fitzgibbons. 2.5 minutes remaining. She found this wave right at the beginning of the heat, Kaipo, and what a wave it is. We had a very slow semi-final number 1. Sally came out absolutely firing with a 7.67. Tatiana Weston-Webb, not to be outdone, keeping in touch with this wave and absolutely blitzing it all the way through. A 6.77 underneath the priority of Sally. Sally let that wave go. Was it a mistake? Is that the momentum changer? And then Tatiana again underneath the priority of Sally Fitzgibbons finds another gem. 3 solid maneuvers from Tatiana, a pair of 7.677s, and she finds herself in the lead with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. The pressure now is on the shoulders of Sally Fitzgibbons, needing a 5.87. How crazy is our sport? I love this.
Oh, the pressure cooker is letting off some steam right now. You can feel it in the air for Sally Fitzgibbons. Tatiana Weston-Webb looking calm. She knows she just has to let this play out. Really nothing she can do with Sally Fitzgibbons with priority. Weston-Webb just has to be happy that she has the lead and just minimal time on the clock for Fitzgibbons to mount a comeback.
Well, there's both those occasions with the 6.77s, Sally had priority. She could have caught one of those waves, taken one of those opportunities away from Tatiana. Even if she didn't get the score, it would have eliminated that extra opportunity. Now we see Sally, that sense of urgency starting to creep in. She sees a wave, she starts to make a move, and it is going to be a no-go. So Sally, with 50 seconds remaining, has this slip through her fingers. She's going to be doubting those decisions that she made. She's going to go back and question, why did I let that wave go? I had the opportunity to steal at least one of those waves away from Tatiana, which would have kept my lead, and the tables would have been turned.
Oh, Sally needs to make the final if she wants to get that yellow Jeep Leaders jersey. If she does not, it's going to stay on the back of Tyler Wright going into event number 6, and it's looking good for Tyler Wright to not have to change that wardrobe. We're down to just 15 seconds. Last chance for Fitzgibbons. View from above. Sally scratches into this little left-hand peeler, banks it off the top. 2-turn combo. Requirement 5.87.
Oh, wow. 5.87, I don't think it's enough. And I think Sally knows it. Just one of those opportunities she could have eliminated from Tatiana. She had priority in both those occasions. She let those waves go. She wanted to maintain control over the lineup. She let Tatiana go. Tatiana dropped 2 back-to-back 6.77s and took the lead, and now is in the finals, Kaipo.
She is in the finals by way of 3.6 for last to Sally Fitzgibbons. Not enough. Tatiana Weston-Webb will meet Courtney Conlog in the final here at the outer-known Fiji Women's Pro. You can see the shot from above, and a very happy Tatiana Weston-Webb as she makes her way to the channel and prepares for her first final of the year.
Wow, incredible stuff, and just a testament to the fight in this young lady. Even underneath the priority, she knew what she had to do. She trusted her surfing. She believed in her ability. She said she's found this newfound confidence that she never had at the beginning of the year, and that has taken her all the way through to the final. So Tatiana Weston-Webb will come up against Courtney Conlog. That backside, frontside battle we'll see go down again here in the final.
That's right, Potts. Right now, we're going to throw it to the channel with Strider Wazalewski and our commissioner, Jesse Miley Dyer.
Well, we got that one done and dusted, Jesse. We've had the semis out of the way. What are we going to do with the finals? Waves are slowing down a bit.
Yeah, it's really actually deteriorated quite quickly here, way quicker than we thought it would. I'm going to go on hold for an hour, so next call at 2:30. We'll explore a couple I want to have the chance to relook at all the forecasts as well. I think that's important, to make sure that we're going to take the best window because, there's a possibility that maybe, late this afternoon this wind might die down a bit.
Well, there you have it. We're going to take a quick hold for an hour, and we'll be looking at the forecast and the maps and the situation. We'll find out what happens then.
Thank you, Strider. It is 1:45 local Fijian time. That means the next call is going to be 2:30. Stick with us, though. We're going to stay on air. Check out more of the outer known Fiji Women's Pro. We'll be right back after this short break.